Hello. Hello everyone for coming. And everybody is standing, please sit down. Before we start with Nik's presentation, just quick short announcement. The date for the Slovenian Games Conference is known. It will be on 30th of November, and the info will come later about the cards, speakers, and so on. One more, there is some artsy workshop in Graz, and if anybody's interested, I have like some promo codes for discounts and stuff like that. So after the talk, you can come to me and we can discuss. And one more, if anybody's interested in reboot carpool sharing, can also come for me and we can agree with something. Now we can start. So Nik is a 3D artist and works for Interblock Gaming. And today he will present something about the artist. So now I'll give him the word.
Thank you. By the way, what's the sound? Is it booming? Is it okay?
Okay.
It's okay? Okay, cool. So hi, I'm Nik, and this talk is all about the artist. This was intended not as an art talk on how to make better art or how to be a better artist per se, but it's mostly or more about the artist in the industry. So, how do you really explain art? So, art is a diverse range of human activities in creating visual, auditory, or performing arts, expressing the other's imaginative, conceptual ideas, technical skill, that is appreciated for its beauty or emotional power. So what this means is basically anything that is visual, as in movies, sculptures, paintings, auditory as in sounds, music, effects, or performing artifacts as in a ballet, like the general dance. Also imaginative and conceptual ideas. Their ideas are like, let's say, going to the moon, that would be considered weird or artistic to a degree, of weird limits of imagination. If you can't go there, and then you got there, and it's a sort of way of interpreting art. And then technical skill is, it can be like reconstructing something, let's say an old broken down car, and fixing it up to look exactly like it would be made from a factory. And just the skill that is needed to make that production is artistic. Now the next one, difference between a programmer and an artist. So this is one of the things that kind of made me want to do this talk, because there's so many ideas of what makes a programmer and an artist, what makes the other one better than the other, what are the main differences. And for the most basic one is basically a programmer's work is absolute, as in it has an ending, whereas an artist's work does not. An art piece is virtually never finished because there's always a room for improvement. It just depends on when it is good enough. To elaborate more on that, when a programmer gets a task to do, the task either has to work, and that's it. It either works or it doesn't. There's no in between. It's like, no, either make it work or it doesn't. Well, artists, it depends on, okay, I want you to draw me a glass, just like a glass. Okay, cool. Now make it fit better. Okay, so you draw it more. Add a little bit of cut, open up the cut. No, too much color. Now the lines are too thick. No. And then at a certain point in time, it's perfect. It's just good enough. You can spend more time on it. It don't make that much of a difference to the average consumer, but to you it will. So that's why art is when it's done, or when it's good enough. Now, a good interpretation of this is this. These are basically pictures or illustrations of famous illustrators, and as you can see, each illustrator in the middle are the original pieces of artworks, and on top is the artist, is the variations of artists, and downwards are the way each artist drew. So let's say the artist that drew Asterix and Obelix, I'm blanking the names right now. These drawings are all in his style, while the other ones are in their style, and wow, right. Basically, there's a lot of differences in each one of them, but they're all unique and special in their own way. But only one can fit the property or product that the customer is wanting to achieve. Now, a good example of this is, this is going to be a very weird story, but this is a woman riding a horse on a beach, or river, or something. Let's call this a project I had at work 6 months ago. Basically, the boss man came to me and fellow programmer and said, okay, so guys, I would like you to collaborate on a project. Like, oh yeah, finally, actually doing our own product. This is exciting. Yes, it's a completely new product. Nothing of this exists. You got 2 weeks. What? 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's about as much time as you got. You gotta get it to the customer shipped. What about QA? No QA. Just ship it out the door. Okay, 2 weeks. So we had to start working immediately. Basically, I was responsible for the art. The other guy was for the infrastructure or the code. Like, okay, let's get onto it. So what I started was with this. Oh, so this kind of looks like a horse, doesn't it? Okay, sure, it's a donkey, it's on a field, it's a different kind of beautiful, but it's something. First week down, like, oh yeah, this is happening, so the next week I was like, and the rider, yeah, this is 2 weeks of work. Non-stop crunch. Then boss comes like, hey guys, you're doing a great job, yeah, the server broke down, so we got another week. Like, oh yeah, fuck, have to make it better. We put the donkey on the beach. So the donkey on the beach looks happier, it looks better. Like, oh, I actually done crunch 3 weeks, this was horrible. Hey guys, so you done with that? Okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, we're gonna put another artist on the team because we see it's not looking the best. It's functional, but it's not looking the best. So I'm gonna put another artist on the team. So the problem with adding another artist to the team is styles may change, and if you got another week, the artist has to adapt to that. So we finally got a horse. It's not a good-looking horse, but it's a horse. People know it's a horse. If you squint and look at it far enough and cover your eyes, but basically you got a horse. So like, now it's actually done. Oh, cool, we can move on. Hello guys! Oh wow. What do we need this time, boss? We need a new feature. Actually, we need a bug fix. Bug fix, yeah, that's not a lady on a horse. Fuck it. Here's a lady. Week 5, done. But at this point, we're already tired. This has gone on for 3 weeks longer than it should have. Hi boss, what do you mean? Okay, oh, another feature. Oh, okay, another feature on top of this. Fine, here's another feature, it's moving. It's actually moving. So with this time we're like, okay, this is done. Hi boss. So he looks at us like, okay, next week it's going out, finally, we have another week. Now, can you make it like, more stand out, like make it nicer, like, what the fuck do you even want? Like, is this nice enough? Is it obvious that it's a new product? It's a casino product, so it has to stand out. So it's a fucking lady riding a fucking horse on an explosive beach. Can anything stand out more than that? Actually, no, it can't. He was satisfied. The product was shipped. And as ironic as it is, 6 months exactly the day the stock was announced, we got our first bug report. It was like, can you fix the machine? It's broken. It's ugly, it needs fixes, it needs this, it needs that, and can you please add a baby shark remix to the machine? If you don't know what baby shark is, good. Basically, this is what we should have ended up with, this is what we got. And it just shows that there's no shortcuts in art. Like, I knew I was going to do this, but when I had 2 weeks, I did it as close as I could. If I had 3 months, like normal projects should have taken, I would have probably paced it out, slow down on some of the production things, maybe made the horse look better, one of the things, but the best way to illustrate it is this. This is an artist that did a 10-minute, 1 minute, and 12-second drawing of Spider-Man. There are basically no shortcuts. The time you have, the time you use, and the time you make the art piece better. Of course, you could extend it to 1 hour and it would have looked fantabulous, but for 90% of the people or the customers that we serve, this would have been totally fine, and it probably is. Now, cost of art. When talking about art, people usually say like, oh, being an artist is easy, all you do is draw, just make something look good. It's like, yeah, but no. Sure, so let's go down the rabbit hole of cost. I'm coming from my own perspective as a 3D modeler, so your mileage may vary. But basically, in 3D, you basically have these plus about 20 other pieces of software for modeling. So Blender, Maya, Max, Cheetah, and Motor, Fusion, Cinema, 4D. Okay, cool, modeling programs. Well, so what about textures? Okay, cool. 3D code, substance painter, designer, create a game, Mari. Okay, sure, 6 pieces of software. What about render engines? Fuck! We got like 12 of them, or how many? These are the 12 that I know of, but they're like probably 50. So like, shit, what am I gonna do here? Well, I guess I'll choose one of them. So then, scoping software. Oh, we have Blender again, Cinema, ZBrush, Mudbox, Optimus One, okay. That brings down kind of the software that I would prefer to use, like all across projects. Like, okay, sure, why not? But now comes the software that I know how to use. So I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pieces of software. I can do pretty much anything with it. I can use Unreal Unity for games, Marvel's texturing, production views, rendering inside the ski shop, texturing these two programs, modeling, and then Blender again in modeling. So this is all fine and dandy. It's a complete work set of tools that I use. I can use whatever. Now here comes the problem. Industry standard software. Well, would you look at that? And you see the other problem. I don't know how to use the piece of software, so basically I don't know 1/3 of the software that is used regularly in the industry. So what does that mean? Well, usually what it boils down to is when I send my portfolio to a company, the first thing they ask, why don't you know Maya? It's an industry standard piece of software, why don't you know Maya? I mean, why don't you know Maya? I mean, of course there are like 20 different pieces of software, but why don't you know Maya? It's an industry standard, of course. And remember, this was supposed to be the cost of art? These are the numbers. Oh, fuck, this is a different size screen. Well, this was unexpected. Okay. But basically, as you can tell, some pieces of software are a bit more expensive than the other. Like, some are like one-time payment of 1,000 euros, then some are free, they're like 2,000 euros per year. I wonder why I don't use Maya. I think it's a bit expensive, and when you have to learn a piece of software that is that expensive, you think like, I don't think it will. And you think going freelance, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. Also, what do we have here? Free, oh, here comes a different problem. Industry standard. If you're a freelancer, there's not a problem with using these piece of software, also Blender. The problem is, if you work in a big team, they want you to be able to share your files, to be able to be adapted by other people. Or if just as a freelancer, you might even get a request for, can you send me your PSD? Why? No, I won't. You're paying me to do something for you. That'll just literally be giving you free art until you pay me more. But like, no, we would like to use it for something else at the end of the project. No, we need it now at the end of the project. Partially because they might scam you. The other one is basically you can't give them a PSD, which is the standard used by Photoshop and everything Adobe. Hail Satan. So again, render engines. Of course, Corona, 360 a year, Redshift, F-Storm, Cycles, free with Blender. You should check it out. Keyshot, industry standard software. But the thing is, all these pieces of software are different. Each and every one of these pieces of software are different. I'm right now in my 5th year of Blender, and I started being comfortable with, like really comfortable, as in I can do something last year, despite having about 10 years of experience in 3D. But I switched from Max, and that is a completely different beast. And since they want you to learn Maya, I have to learn the Maya in between this time, which is very difficult if you don't want to learn Maya. Again, Keyshot. Keyshot is basically a program that you just throw the 3D model in, just put on a texture, and that's it. Cool, easy. But for 90% of the other ones, you have to prepare a model for texturing, and that can mean more cost for the company, more time to invest in you, and just another piece of software to learn. While Unreal Unity are becoming the industry standard, again, new industry standards for renderings, architectural visualizations. There almost isn't a studio that doesn't use it. Almost. But everyone that uses Max uses ARM. Now, how does the hunt for experience go? And I can already tell this is going to fuck up. So, well, yeah, I didn't plan this goddamn open source software. So basically, I started my career in graphics arts in high school, and I started in Vision Factory, or Toronto, BC, in 2009. I was an intern, but at the school they said like, okay, you have to start searching for the company you're going to work now, a year in advance. I was like, why should I search for a company a year in advance? Obviously, companies love free work. The problem is they don't. It actually took me 4 months to get a company, and they were the only offer. By which I mean, 5 minutes before the deadline, they called me. I was like, "Yeah, it would be really nice if you could give me like the 2 weeks. I need to just like sign the paper if anything." But like, "We'll call you tomorrow." No, either give it to me now or don't call. Because the other option was, if you don't find the practice yourself, the school is going to put you in a print factory or a print shop, regardless of what your master is, either 2D, 3D animation, video, audio, illustration, whatever. Websites don't care. They're going to put you in a print shop. And I didn't want that, so I was really forcing the company to give it to me. Basically what I did, I cooked coffee and got my paper signed. That was about it. So much for practice. The other one was at ZootFly. Now, Rod said I worked at ZootFly, I think, or if anything, it was on the announcement page. But, well, I was a game tester there, and basically, by sheer luck. This was the time when I was like 3 years into 3D, 2 or 3 years. I was like, I would really like to start like focusing more on 3D. I like this, I like web design, like this, that. 3D is kind of fun. I sent an email, they were like, "We don't need 3D artists right now. Maybe you would like to game test." I was like, "Okay, I would like to game test." Basically just 4 months of playing video games. Yay, dream achieved. 2 months later, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore. This is depressing, I'm not having fun. Can I please stop this agony? And after 4 months, I left. And I was like, okay, cool, I got more experience. And then I was like, 4 months later, oh, can I come back and work for you guys? Like actually work now? No reply, more on that later. So, next one was Pigs in TV. This is another lucky strike. Basically, a friend of mine got an offer for video production at Pink. And they needed somebody for 3D. And she's like, "You're the only one I know? Come help them." I'm like, "It's a job, you can work during college." I was like, "Oh yeah, well." Started working. Basically 3D was the first 2 weeks, everything else was video production. Real-time streaming, graphics for news, and everything. If you watch Pink See, it's basically just 24 hours, like 10 days ago. It's basically the same thing. They didn't know what they were doing, but after 4 months, I got fired, much like everybody else at the company, so yeah, didn't work nice. Then I was like, shit, what am I going to do now? Nothing, I guess I better go back to college. I was a teaching assistant at the faculty of Natural Technology at SloGameDev. And again, I needed 6 months of practice, session, mandatory. I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? I really like this 3D stuff still. Maybe I'm gonna apply for the 3D here. Luckily enough, a week later, my teacher actually asked me, so I'm like, yeah, this is nice, it's very nice. I'm gonna teach people 3D. Oh, who am I teaching? Master students? And I haven't even finished my bachelor's? Oh wow, this should be interesting. 6 months later, cool, I finished, it was fun. And then I went to Erasmus. Then I came back, all popped up on alcohol, and decided like, I would like to work for you again, like pro bono, for free, like literally free. I would just like to get more experience in maybe presenting, teaching, because if I teach other people, I'll see where my faults are. So I started teaching again. It was interesting. It was interesting. I learned a lot. Then I got to Interblock Gaming in 2007, 8th of May. So it's gonna be 2 years soon. And I got hired as a 3D artist, junior 3D artist. But I did that for maybe 1 month, and I became basically a generalist, 2D, 3D generalist, pixel artist, animator, compositioner, renderer, basically anything else but 3D modeling, which was what we originally talked about. And then I learned that basically why ZootFly stopped talking to me was because basically Interblock bought ZootFly and 90% of people left the company, so my contact was gone. But hey, I guess I finally worked for ZootFly. Now, these are all the highlights in my career, and something that everybody shows, but what about the downsides or the other shitty jobs I did? Oh, look at that. I worked 4 years as a promoter at a promotional agency. Street promotions, a little bit of graphics, but nothing special. Like at the end of high school till the end of college. That was fun, I guess. I got a lot of experience of it. Then, after ZootFly ended, and during college, I started working at the warehouse. You know what's basically Amazon? I was the one packing up all your gifts and expensive things. It wasn't fun. I started either before school or after school. That was a fun 3 months. Then I got fired because they needed somebody full-time and a student, so I was like, fuck that. And the next one was Alaya. I was a dishwasher for 2 seasons. Like 2 summer seasons. So think like, oh, that's not difficult. Yeah, you're the only one. And there are like 10 waiters and 4 barmen, and everything comes to you. Luckily, I got some free drinks and an ice cream, but that was about it. It was especially stressful when Severina came to sing. Oh boy. Then, when I was teaching at Techniska, I was actually a server at a restaurant for 3 months. 4 times a week, or 3 to 4 times a week, sometime in the afternoon. I basically went to work in the morning, and then after that, I went to college. That wasn't really fun, but hey, I got to teach people and work a job at the same time. It was stressful, but it worked. Then, after almost the same 6 months after, I also got a job as a bartender, a different bar. Now that one I worked 4 times a week, basically, and then 2 times a week at school. I was instructing, like individually teaching people one day, and the other day I was taking on the classes. Basically, I took all the classes from the teacher because she was overworked, and I just basically took her job over for half a year. It was the best and worst time of my life. But I did it. It was possible. A lot of people that I taught basically got 4 years of knowledge in 6 months, but only 2 really took it and ran with it. They're very successful now. And those are the shitty jobs of it. And I think it's important to illustrate these things because we only see the successful part, or maybe the least stressful part of this experience gathering. And then people like me, when starting off, they're like, oh shit, he's got a job at like all different kind of studios, like half a year, but nothing else. I think this should like put in more energy, or at least make people believe like, you know, there's a chance, you gotta do a few shitty jobs. But the question is, how much are you gonna put in the effort to get rid of those shitty jobs? Now, work that finds you. This is actually one of my favorite slides that I did. It's basically what it says, work finds you. So let's start with an example, shall we? Hi Nick, so I saw your work here in ArtStation and really liked it a lot. I don't have any work that is as cool as what you do, but I should be a breeze for you. Like, I reached out to you because I'm looking to have some really basic modeling I need someone to do for me. No texture required, just OBJ files that I can import to the dimensions where I can do the texturing relying myself. I need a few things like maybe a spray bottle, small jar, hand device, a couple of boxes, small mesh bag, and a ribbon. I don't have a big budget or anything, just a little money on PayPal to pay you. I have pictures of the objects I needed, but from various views to model from. Please let me know if you're interested and could help me. I'd like to start immediately if possible. So, I actually apparently deleted all of the important parts on the blank line, but basically let's start from the beginning. I saw a work on ArtStation and really liked it a lot. I don't have any work that is as cool as what you do. Come on, please jiggle my balls more. But this should be a breeze for you. Oh yes, this is so easy. I reached out to you because I'm looking to have someone do some really basic modeling work. Oh, really basic. So you really like my awesome stuff, but you want something really basic. Oh, poor child. No texture required, just OBJ files that I can import. Okay. I need a few things, 6 things, okay? I don't have a big budget. This is a big problem. When somebody says they don't have a big budget, it's usually the answer is usually no. Why? More on that later. Just a little money on PayPal. I have pictures of all the objects I need from various views to model from. So basically, he really likes my stuff, but wants me to do basic stuff. He wants me just to model, no texture required. So he wants 6 props, small budget, and he already has the references that are needed for this. And he would like to start off immediately. So, let's say these are the 6 objects. Just ignore the bottom one. I forgot to put in a different slide. He needs a mesh bag. Or let's start from there. He needs a hand device. What is a hand device? I don't know. Could be a mobile phone. Could be a weird contraption like that. Okay. A small jar. A few boxes. Ribbons. spray bottles and piece de resistance, a mesh bag. Now, what is a mesh bag? It's basically a bag made out of mesh. Nylon, elastic, something, something, something. Now, the big problem is it is transparent, it is see-through, so if you need something simple and quick to model, a mesh bag is not that. To model that, you require simulation, all done in modeling, no textures, which he's going to do himself. If it was a quick job, he would want a mesh bag with a texture on it that is transparent. Now, if you would have bought these props on the internet, I googled, there's a lot of variation in those. Now, it would have cost him probably around 100 euros, but to my knowledge, he was looking for something more specific. He actually needed a real modeler, which would have cost, because he probably was gonna make a render of an actual product. So that would have cost me to make 150 euros minimum if I worked for 6 hours. Just have a minimum amount of hours they would like to spend on each problem, which is 1. Each of these would probably take like an hour in the problem, and the mesh bag would probably take more. So if he wasn't willing to pay me much money, he pointed it out, not much money, he wasn't worth my time. And if I was going to be doing this, I'll be doing it in my free time, after work, and I'm already stressed to oblivion. So I politely declined. So, as I said, this was the best case scenario of a bad offer. Now, when you're looking for work, or when work is looking for you, like ads on Facebook, which I get so many times because I'm trying to move companies, I get the following. We're looking for cheap, fast, creative, reliable journalists. Must know, insert 10 pieces of software. Python, Java, and fun-loving. That's important, fun-loving. We all must be fun-loving because we work in a small team of 5. We're all young students trying to make $1 million company out of nothing. Okay. Now, things you will be responsible for: making banners, updating our website, advertising, some video skills, drawing skills. Basically, they want to hire you to make their website, promotional material, and everything, and then just fire you because they can't afford an actual freelancer. Oh, also, you must be a student because nobody else is cheaper. But, okay, just ignore those posts. Then you get an actual offer. Oh, imagine an actual offer when you're a student, or like 3 years ago when you started actually looking for a serious job. A guy came to me and was like, okay, I like you, so can you make us an ad, like an idea for a poster? What kind of poster? Just make an idea for a poster, for a product. What kind of product? Like commercially available product. Just make it look good. You have free to use your imagination, so what are the guidelines just to make it look good? Get a brand that everybody knows and make a poster about it. I was like, okay, cool, how much time do you have? Use as much time as you want, and this is a big problem. When a company says, use as much time as you want, this is the time when you think, how much is my time worth? How much time should I invest in this? Should I invest 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe a week, a month even? So basically I just took like maybe 4 to 5 hours, maybe 6 hours to research it, find brands that I like, color code, coordination, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. I got an idea. I'll make a poster for the guy. And this is a poster I made. It's based on the posters they were rolling out in 2016-15. So basically I found a nice bearded man, color corrected everything, hand painted it, this, that, made the font as close as possible. I think I did a good job. Then I got a reply. Don't give up. I believe that you will come up with something. What are the feelings you are getting from this picture? Do you think you would buy this product? Would this solve any of your problems? I mean, it says, Nivea, I think we all know what that does. Also, sensitive skin should be like, tudi občutljiva koža najbolj negovana. Like, the sensitive skin should be taken care of. Like, oh, he's a big guy, he has sensitive skin. They should like promote guys being sensitive and end of dry skin and discomfort. I think the message is pretty blunt. And something this. Tudi občutljiva koža. I was like, this is brilliant. That should be in marketing. He didn't reply after that. So I think I got my job done. The company fell under. Their site was a piece of shit. I don't even know their name anymore. They're so unimportant. But this just makes me wonder, what did I even want? Oh, please tell me, white person smiling and seeing energy written 3 times. What do you want from that cream? Pure energy? Oh, I think I got it. Oh, if it's not this that convinced you, maybe Rihanna. Can I trust you that it's a good product? Maybe. But yeah, basically, I think they wanted this. No, so, respect for the arts. We all know artists are very respected in the industry. So, let's look at Twitter. Oh, wrong. Let's look at Twitter. If you know for exposure, it is a Twitter handle or Twitter ad, whatever you call it. Basically Twitter. An artist just sent their job request screenshots and all hilarious or actually very disheartening tweets to them. I've seen your illustrations and very appreciate what you do. I would like to invite you to work a part of our magazine, 12 Years Special, and looking for an illustrator to draw 100 Japanese logo for free. Apart from this, you may also get the interview opportunity with us. You might get it. Also, your favorite exposure. Looking for an artist that works unpaid. Let's start. If you do art for pay, working with me won't get you in your way. Just please be committed. Okay. I'm sorry to be the one to put a damper on your dreams, but I wish I was blind because maybe I don't have to see these high prices. What are you guys? Why are you guys so mean? Basically, artists are expensive, apparently. The most fun one was this. We aren't hiring. We are looking for a true teammate, a partner in our company's success. The right individual is interested in building the largest and best news company in central Wisconsin. Yes, big community. A local resident with a flair for marketing and sales, who prides themselves on their reputation in community service. Yes, this is worth gold. But yeah, most of these things are like this. Even for work in Erasmus Plus, when I wanted to go out, Erasmus pays you for the first 3 months, pays you exactly around 350 to 420 euros if you're lucky, and the rest you have to sponsor yourself. And where are all the companies that want these kind of artists? Of course, UK, maybe Czech, Germany, Danish. So basically very expensive areas, very expensive countries, and where you need at least 1,000 euros to survive. And all the companies there offer you exposure. They want you to work for free. So it's kind of impossible. They don't pay your rent, they don't pay transportation, no food, no nothing, just exposure. So you have a lot of exposure. And there's a good joke. Oh, 800 exposure, that's exactly my rent. Cool. So now I have a fun little topic, the art of code. I think you all know where this is going. Artists should learn how to code so they can implement things. Yeah, that is a very good argument. Like, if you know how to code, you can implement something. Now, there are a ton of languages, like C# plus C, what else? Java, Python, sure, I don't know all these languages. But the problem is, the part that comes after this, artists should learn how to code so they can implement things. So that programmers have time to do other important tasks. What? This is an actual quote I got from a coworker. I think he didn't understand the irony in this. So you have to do something more important? Oh, so you're saying you overwork. So management is a problem, so I should take over your selection? No, friend, no. That's not gonna happen, that's not gonna happen. I have enough of my own work, my own stress, and all what kind of bullshit that my boss gives me. But, okay. I give him a response. I can't even do HTML. Like I tried HTML in primary school, I learned in high school twice, and nothing stayed here. Then I tried in Erasmus, passed, barely, nothing stayed. So I can't even do HTML. That's not a programming language. I see you're in the room. That's not a programming language. Granted, it isn't, but you dense motherfucker, you get it, what I'm trying to say. I can't multiply numbers. I can't even write text. I can't even make a straight line in PDF. No, not PDF. WordPad, yes, WordPad. And this is just something fun that I found. I don't get your code, neither do I. But it seems to work, which is basically how programming works these days. Now, another fun thing was, you know, I don't know how you call them, like, servers where you put on all your works, you have like the work you did previously and the work you're gonna do, it's gonna like override it. An SVN or a Git. And I was like, can you give me a UI for a Git, for Git? Like, please, because I can't really do the terminal. It was like, why not use this? I mean, it's exactly the same. It's just a few lines of code. Sure, yeah, money sign, git, add a dot, okay, commit, and file. P? What is P? Show changes over time a specific file. Yeah, sure, I'll remember that. Now, if a programmer would ask me, like, if I would ask a programmer to do art, which I never would, because that's, apparently I could do this. Don't make it look bad, and find a tutorial on YouTube, because that's how all art is managed these days. Even from the side of my manager. Boss, I can't really do this, I'm inexperienced. Google it. It's not available. YouTube it. There's somebody there that does it for free. Okay. So now, understanding the arts. So this is what a digital artist should know these days. So he should know marketing, illustration, UI, pictorial animation, sculpting cards, basically a lot of these things. And again, which of these things do I know? Oh, maybe a fourth, fifth? I don't know, I'm bad at counting. But basically, I can do marketing, texture work, art, surface rendering, all these things, but... But basically, I can't really do everything, and not everybody should be expected to do all of this. Of course, like, if somebody draws, like illustration, of course they can do maybe digital in one way, like in Photoshop or Krita, and then move on to physical, like acrylic or watercolors. Maybe they can't. Maybe they're complete idiots in that. Maybe they can draw people or animals, or maybe just really good hard surface, like they're literally illustrators that just do cards. So why can't a digital artist be good at one of these things? It's especially funny when we talk about color. Like when you see color, we're like, oh, there's so many different colors of orange, and programmers like, oh, come on, this is similar, but it's different, but it's all just orange. And then you tell them they all have names. One is called banana orange, melon orange, basketball orange, papaya orange. Like, fine, they have their own color. So. But it's funny, because exactly around this time, like around 6 or 7, the programmer's workspace goes from this to this, because apparently it's easier to code in this color. You know who you are. And I can't look at this. This is disgusting. This is the pain of my existence. It's very impossible to look at this more than 5 seconds. I rather poke my eyes out, and it's also on a monitor that is 100 euros. And this hurts my soul very, very deeply. I am a very fragile person. So, okay, so let's see. How does the mind of a manager work when he sees an artist? So let's say, okay, so you can draw. So let's say this is a really nice picture. So you can draw people, you can draw physical colors on canvas. So can I do the Sistine Chapel? I mean, it's basically just people and color on a ceiling, on a fucking big church, hundreds of years old, upside down on her back. I mean, working with wet paint and a whole different procedures. Like, it's basically the same thing, and this is how managers honestly view digital artists. But this is just a physical version. Also, fun fact, that wasn't the painting, that was actually a person being painted. Impressive, isn't it? So, job satisfaction, this is a fun one. How does job satisfaction work? This is my personal opinion. I don't like doing this. I'm overworked, no motivation, using tools I'm not familiar with. I rarely do what I'm interested in. Constantly new things to learn. Didn't get a response. Oh shit, this is cut off. You will get your dream job at 30. Learning these things is good. Come on, it's not that bad. At least you have a job, and that's a good one. You are still a junior. In other companies, it's the same. Just get a different job. Let's go drink and forget about work. A job is a job. Then what happens at home is something nobody shares. No motivation for personal stuff. Always tired. Change in personality. Constant worry. Unhappy with life. Thinking you're in the wrong. No end in sight. Now, this is a personal struggle for me over the last, let's say, 2 years. Now, granted, I've been in this community for about a year and a half-ish, maybe less. And basically, I'm the person below that everybody knows me. Everybody knows me as that person there, like the left side. Nobody knows me how I was before. Everybody just knows I'm this. And I realized I was in a very, 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 very bad position. I had 2 mental breakdowns at work. 3 months of long burnout, which was caused by me going from work tired, stressed and everything, preparing dinner, lunch, whatever, went for next day, working 2 hours a day so I can start building a portfolio. And I just burned out for 3 months. I couldn't do art, I couldn't do 3D, I couldn't do 2D, I couldn't do anything, yet I still had to go to work and work and work and work. I don't remember anything of that period of time. I developed a substance abuse. Which substance that those are, nothing special, just weed and alcohol, right, party. Basically trying to numb the pain. It worked well for like 2 weeks, then I started noticing I was gaining weight, getting an eating disorder, constantly sick. Actually, some people came to me like, whenever we see each other, you're always sick, like you have an infection, like yeah, I always had, like that, I was having that for about a year. It didn't get better. Anger itself and people around you, I became explosive. I couldn't handle rejection, I couldn't handle criticism, I couldn't handle anything. I was just imploding on everybody. I couldn't stand people, I literally hid myself away because I couldn't handle pain. I couldn't. And people come to you when you're positive. This was one of the bigger ones. 2 co-workers actually. They had no connection to each other at that time. Basically, one came up to me and was like, wow, you were so great that time at the meetup. Why could you be like that at work? I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm exactly like I am. Like, what are you talking about? You were happy. Really? I was happy? But like, did my personality really change that much that people notice now that I'm happy? And then another person came up to me and said like the exact same thing. They were completely 2 coincidences, but then when I noticed, like, there's a problem. It's not just me seeing it. It's like me feeling it, but not knowing how to react to it. That was about a year ago, 1 year after I was employed. I wanted to quit 4 times, every half year. I was thinking about it, Without a backup, I was literally just like, I just have to stop it. I couldn't handle it. It's too much. The work is stressful. The work is too much. I just couldn't handle people there. They're great people, but I just couldn't handle their positivity. Just like, nothing was bad about the people. I just couldn't handle people in general. I just wanted to curl up, hide, and that's about it. Wishing to return into bar business. This is a common problem among artists, at least the ones I know. At least half that finished high school or college were doing bar business, like bar, just catering, or restaurant services or anything. Most of them had jobs like photography, 3D art, 2D art, illustration. More than half of them quit and went to the bar business. Why? Because of the stress. They're like, I can't handle the stress anymore. This is too much. The pay isn't worth it. It pays exactly as much as in the bar business, despite having the college education, high school education, and they just couldn't. And I was thinking the same exactly the last year. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna push it because this counts to my experience. I almost have 2 years with the company. I'll see what I'm gonna do then. Learning that I was depressed. This was one of the bigger realizations. I always thought like, I'm not depressed. I'm just like very unsatisfied. I'm like sad all the time. It's like, is this depression? No, it can't be depression. People say like, oh, you're exaggerating to the degree. Like, you're not crying, you're not antidepressants. You're happy. Yeah, it's called a facade. I've been doing it for like 10, 15 years. It's called being funny. Statistically, the most funniest people are depressed, sad, or somehow weirded out by that. Basically, Jim Carrey, depression. What happened with the old guy that did Genie?
Probably weird.
Exactly, depression. He basically couldn't put up a front. When he was set to act, he wanted to make other people happy. But he didn't think about making himself happy. There was nobody to talk to, like, you're just faking, you're just depressed, you want publicity or whatever. He had everything, he had all the money, he had all the fame. But no, it was actually depression. And that was brought up on January 3rd this year. I talked to a friend that had depression 3 years ago. And basically we just talked it over. I was gonna go to bed at 7, just like, there's nothing to do, and we talked about it for 5 hours. basically broke down each and every step of everything, and realized, yeah, this is actually a cause of depression, this is a cause of fear, this is rejection, everything. It's not something to be taken lightly. They say, oh, just start working out, work on yourself, get buff, go out, drink, have fun. Yeah, that's part of the problem. They say, oh, if you're physically healthy, you're mentally healthy. No, you're not. You're just half healthy. You're still insane inside. Even if you're mentally healthy, you're physically unhealthy, which I was 2 years ago. Luckily now, I'm physically healthy, mentally healthy 25%. There's still something to work out. Mostly get a different job. Stop thinking about the job 24/7. And one of the worst parts is, it's not 100% the company's fault. It's never 100% the company's fault. I'm employed at the company, I can do whatever I want. It's gonna take some time for me to leave. I gotta find a different company, but basically they're just giving me whatever they can, whatever I can do, and I can't really blame them for it. I can't. I can leave, but I won't. Because honestly, I don't have an option, I don't have a choice. All the companies that I listed before were all the offers I got, and I took them. I got no other additional offers. So, making companies responsible. Now, from my side, the company management is a joke. That means sometimes you have so much work, and sometimes you have no work. For the first year and a half, there was so much work that couldn't see out of it. The pay is a joke. It wasn't worth the amount of effort I put into it. I always try to do the best I can, despite not wanting to do it. It's just be proud of your work, do it as best you can. The amount of work is a joke, again, management is a joke. Company parties are a joke. Now, this is a bit of a low ball, but when you can mention that a party is a joke, you know that when a company party is a joke, you know there's something wrong with the company. There's something very wrong with the company. When the time they're supposed to like just chill out, there's something just aching there. Like you see the facade of everything. Like, okay. And no motivation beside it being a job. Literally, the only motivation of the company is I get paid. If there's an offer out there, talk to me. But now the other side, like these are the cons. What about the pluses? The pay is on time. I mean, that's expected, but these days, these companies in our country, they really can't expect that all the time, so I guess that's one positive. Yearly bonus. Ours is supposed to be one of the biggest ones, although I couldn't really tell, seeing as where I work. Management is a joke. That means that they don't know what I do most of the time. So I can sometimes like take a literal day off, just like, boss, what are you doing? Boss, Nick, what are you doing? Work? Good boy. Bonus hours converted to off time. Granted, you can only take 1 day off using bonus hours a month, but that is only told to me about it half a year ago. Respect for off days. Well, when you say you're going to take a day off, you can take a day off. Again, something that should have been standard in all companies. So I don't know if this is a plus or just generally good. The work schedule is flexible-ish. Now, if you think of flexible work schedule, think like, early mornings and late afternoons or something. No, there's like a 2-hour difference on where you come to work because you have to have your daily conversation with the rounds. Now, okay, for a beginner, question mark. Basically, I had no prior experience as an official company, as a full-time employee at a company, so I could be considered a beginner, but to the degree, not really. I have enough experience in high school to colleges, but I think for a beginner, if you're just starting off really fresh, like no experience whatsoever, sure, go for it, go for a year, go for 2 years. Actually, you might learn something. Now, the next quote comes from a very, very unlikely source. It's this wonderful fellow. This is our world devourer. Basically a character in the web. But he has one of the best one-liners, or I want to say, yeah, one-liner, sure. Good news travels slowly, bad news has wings. So what does that mean? Basically, if you say something good, it's going to travel very slowly, hit very few people. But if you say something bad, oh, that's going to spread like wildfire. Which comes to the community. Basically, this is a very small and tight community in this little tiny country called Slovenia. And there are like maybe a few big companies, let's say maybe 5 to 10, let's say top 5. And whenever something happens, at a company, like let's say early morning, some announcement comes out, they're like, oh shit, announcement. Everybody else knows about it in 2 hours. And the worst part of it, everybody acts like they don't know. There was news that people started spreading like at a certain time, like to certain people, and then just like the news magically spread to everybody. And when you're like talking a month or two later, people are like, "Oh, did you hear about that?" No, I never heard that. And you're like, "Oh fuck, I knew that like 2 months ago in the morning, yeah, but nobody talks about it." So if we're talking about a small community, we really want to start doing something, like being honest to each other about the status of the community, the status of workplaces, and just thinking about every year, about 100, 200 high school and college students finish. And where are they going to go? Where are they going to go to work? Are they going to find a job here, or are they going to go to a bar like most other people or other shitty-ass companies or shitty-ass jobs? I think it's time to become transparent. So Glassdoor, if you haven't heard of it, I think you probably should, like, as soon as possible. Basically, if you have a voice, if you work at a company, good or bad, please leave a review of that company on Glassdoor. So everybody that starts at the workplace who wants to change a job, just go to Glassdoor, write a review so that somebody else that wants to work at a company can read what it's like to work at said company. That means for good reviews and bad reviews. The good companies shouldn't be getting any more good workers, while the good companies should be getting more. And usually they're underappreciated. Usually Glassdoor, it's like, yeah, this company's shit. Then you have like those 5 companies that are like, really good, surprising, but not coming forward because lack of capital or something. So really, it's time to bring up all the good companies. And I believe when I say this that despite there being many good companies, there are a lot of bad ones. And even within the community, we're talking like, which are the bad companies? Which are the bad companies? Oh, this company treats people like this company treats people like this, like this. It starts off with that 5-minute conversation, then just like fades away, then you go back like nothing happens. Like, it's time to speak up. It's your physical health, and mental health, and your pay and life that you're putting up for the company that doesn't care about you, that you're saying that you're replaceable, not important. It's just time to do something for the community. And this is basically wraps up 1 hour of me talking. And I hope you, if nothing else, the last 5 minutes you took to heart. Questions? What?
Did you at least make the box?
No. I politely declined. Although one of the better ones that I didn't include this was a company asked me like, oh, can you, so you do video? I was like, yeah, I know video, but I don't want to do video. Yeah, but you just need to like to do a small project, like record, edit, promote it, post it, and I just ignore them. So these kind of job offers, I just really throw in the trash. And there are actually many of them. In the last year, I got like at least 5 or 6.
I have it's not a question that you need to answer, but
yes.
I just want to say that when I worked at a company, it was always important for me to have one person who is a lot better than me, so I can always look at him, strive.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just asking you if
no, I know.
you have people like that in your company.
I know what you're talking about, yes and no. We had an art department which got promptly fired a year ago, so me and another freelancer were left. Basically, I straight up asked the boss, I was like, you kept me here because I'm the cheapest. He was like, yeah. That was basically the gist of it all. 2 animators, 1 programmer, something, I don't know, what's the official position, and a 3D artist, because basically we stopped production on 3D. But the funny part is, they wanted to retire half of them 3 months later, and they were like, fuck you. Which is the appropriate response for this. Well, where those people work now, I think they're doing quite fine. Probably at the same company. Actually, no one doesn't. Next question, something.
Did you at least try to put a price on that one question, or you just said no?
Below I stated 150 was my estimate, but I didn't say it to it because that would just like prolong the denial. Because it's not worth talking to this kind of people, like, it's really not. Now, yeah, it's not.
I mean, I'm just asking because, you know, different countries have different standards.
Different countries have different standards. That was an American that is a 2D, 3D manager. So it's like, if you don't know the basics of this, you don't know anything, you're not worth talking to. That's my personal assessment. I probably become jaded to some of these things kind of like you. And seeing as how my paycheck is not that much, but I still have some of my pride. Because I know what I'm trying to do, I know what I'm trying to achieve. And doing something else that benefits me in no way besides financially is a waste of my time. My time is a certain amount of value, because that's the only thing that is finite. There's an end. I'm gonna die one day. I don't want to make a stupid fucking box for 150 euros.
Then put an absurd price on it, roll the dice.
I was thinking about rather now. I was doing something else. It was more fun.
Okay.
But the point is, we'll take it. Yes.
It's kind of connected to this one day you're gonna die, right? But the industry standard is that you do work for free when you're a beginner. You need exposure. When you draw the line, how many work hours, how many projects, when is enough new, so to say, decide it's not gonna work for free anymore.
Depends on the person. I personally realized I was like, okay, in high school I have no problem working for free just to get exposure. Or just trying to get more experience in trying different things. Just, oh, I'm gonna do a poster, I'm gonna do a logo, I'm gonna do this, do that. But one of the earliest examples of this was like, okay, there was somebody asking me to do a logo. I was like, okay, I can do a logo. What do you want? I would like a realistic bird logo. I was like, you saw my portfolio, do vector art. I would like a realistic bird flying toucan, son of a bitch, and you got 2 days. No. That's not worth any money because I can't do that. It's like, just no. And he kept contacting me like, I would like you to do this, I trust you. No, there's a limit to it. That was the first time. And then I came to college, I was like, okay, I got a job at a video production studio like Pink. So I must be worth something, and that's kind of like where I draw the line. Once you get an employment in the field you're in, you are valued a certain amount. I was valued 1/4 of what I earn now, but I was like, I'm valued for this amount and I'm not going below it. Of course, if a really, really good project comes, I might. But usually it doesn't. And actually I got an offer, I deleted this from the slide because I thought it was unimportant. I got somebody that contacted me, he's like, oh, I really like your work, your arcade machine, yeah, in VR chat. I was like, this is gonna be good. We would like you to model an entire apartment, 4 game rooms, color texture it, set up a server, and we'll do it for exposure. Yeah, I just said, like, this is 2 months of work. Like, but can you do it for free? That's gonna be 100 people are gonna play it. Yeah, that's not worth it. It just depends on, again, when you want to start or stop doing it for free. Is what is your value? What do you figure out you can do better than others? Or how can you value yourself? I know my value now, which is a baseline value that I know takes for me, like, based on how much I earn now, how much is my computer work, how much is the software, how much is my experience, education, and everything work. But basically, if you're 3D, finished college, and have X amount of experience, below 25 euros an hour, you shouldn't go. And we're talking like general, not just like in our country, oh, minimum 10 euros. Like, that's not livable. 25 euros an hour if you're working 10 months, 5 days a week, with 2 months off. That means you can take 1 full company vacation, and you have a month left to educate yourself. But it's not guaranteed that you're going to get a full 10 months of work. So if you cut it by half, like 5 months of work, you can live with 25 euros an hour full-time for 6 months. That is my baseline, and I'm not going under it. So maybe some people have a higher baseline. I think it's a generous way to start. You want to have like a year or 2 to go from, or constant offers for work. I'm going to go higher, and we'll see how that works. But at the moment, I can't tell you more than that because I don't know more than that.
I have a question now that you reflect on this. Actually, very like this talk. This is the second time in 3 days that I almost similar, but in totally different.
Where?
No, I was in Italy. I was listening to a doctorate, old lady actually, from management, and she was talking about how today's management is getting worse and worse, workers are getting burnouts, and she was proposing a new way of modeling that includes more natural, humanistic ways of management, right? And she wants to promote it on university and then proceed on management courses, blah, blah, blah. But my question for you is, now that you reflect yourself, do you think it's more of a problem of underestimation of the workers, or is it actually the management expectation getting worse?
Both. The problem with management is, if there's a problem with management, no matter how good you are, there's always going to be a problem in your end. But if you're like, if you are not that good and the management is good, they're going to notice. They're going to notice. But the question is, how are you going to prove that you're good enough? If you're going to be slacking and a manager that is good, which is hard to find, they'd be like, okay, can we talk about it? Like, we like as a person, we'll be honest and everything. And if push comes to shove, they're like, no, you're not fit for the company. So I think I'm pretty good with what I do. I'm confident in aspects of my skills. I can't just go up to my boss like, I would like it at your pay. I did that 3 months ago, still haven't gotten a call back. So, but yeah, management is very important. It's taken too lightly because people that have no experience in the field come to this position. Our manager has zero knowledge in art, as far as I know, at least by his experience, because every time he comes to me, he says like, can you make it better? And can you improve on this? Like, what do you want? Just make it, when you feel it, like, Those are his sounds. He makes sounds instead of words. Words are sounds, but not grunts. If he was an animal, I was like, yeah, sure, okay. But I think he can articulate his words very, very clearly. He's a nice guy, though. I know he's getting pressure from up top. That's granted, as much as I'm getting pressure from him or the people at the company. But that doesn't mean I have to, well, let's say, I have to respect his opinion. I just don't see the point of it at times. I'm sure that's like many times at certain jobs, like you know what you're doing, you know what you're saying, but when somebody doesn't know what they're saying is telling you know it's straight over. You need some experience on the low level to understand the low level. You can't just go like, I finished my doctorate, so now I'm a manager. How does a hotel work? Have you seen Hotel Hell? Have you seen Ramsey, what he does? People buying hotels with no experience, that's exactly how it works. And that's totally wrong. Nothing?
How do you talk to a programmer?
Hi. Like, hey, so what are you doing? And then they ask him a question, fearing the answer, and then you talk about it for an hour, because you don't understand anything. But you try to, it's difficult talking to a programmer, because I'm not one, I haven't been one, I tried. And it's not for me. Again, HTML, I suck at it. But depends on the task. If I would make a game, I'll think like, can you make this feature and can you implement it, blah, blah. And I would put a list of features that I would maybe consider putting in. And then it's up to him to interpret it however he wants. Oh, the best part of this, he can always hack it and it's gonna work until it doesn't. So when it stops working, oops, I'll fix it. Well, when I do art, it has to be finished straight up. And the amount or the time it's going to take to fix it, it's not worth it. Usually just start from scratch. Or if you give some other poor soul to do work after you, God bless you. So yeah, difficult. But how do you talk to an artist as a programmer? Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's time for beers, and games will be at that table from the game jam, and you can try it. And that's it.